given h of x is equal to 4x minus 3 and g of x is equal to 1 minus x over 2. So find h inverse of g of 2. So from here I know that I need the inverse functions of h of x, right? So I can start to find the inverse functions of h first. hx is equal to 4x minus 3. Let y be h of x. So y is equal to 4x minus 3. Now the subject is y. So later I'm going to change the subject from y become x. Then I will get the inverse function of h. Y plus 3 is equal to 4x. Y plus 3 divided by 4 equal to x. Now I have changed the subject from y to x. Okay, so this will represent the inverse function of h. The inverse function of h is equal to x plus 3 over 4. X plus 3 over 4. Now I have the inverse functions of h. I can start to do this one. H inverse g of 2. Okay. So I put a bracket first. Oh, here should be 2. Here should be 2. G of 2. Gx is equal to 1 minus x over 2. G of 2 will be equal to 1 minus 2 over 2. 2 over 2 is actually equal to 1. 1 minus 1 will give you 0. 0. Okay, now we have the inverse function for h. We can use this one to help us to get this value. H inverse of x is equal to x plus 3 over 4. So now this is 0. It will become 0 plus 3 over 4, which will give you the answers of 3 over 4. Okay, so some students, they don't want to do this way. We have another method. Okay, let's say you don't want to find the inverse function here. We can do it this way. Okay, let me use another color. So g of 2, same thing. G of 2 is 1 minus 2 over 2. 1 minus 2 over 2. So this will give us 0. Okay. Now assume that we didn't find the inverse function for h. So how do we get this value? Okay, you can do it this way. Let h inverse of 0 equal to y. So if I can get the value of y, I will get this value, correct? Okay, so 0 is equal to h of y. H of x is equal to 4x minus 3. H of y will be equal to 4y minus 3. So now I want to find the value of y. Once I have the value of y, then I will get this value. Negative 3 become positive 3. Multiply become divide. 3 over 4 equal to y. What is y? Y is h inverse of 0, right? It's equal to 3 over 4. Different method, but will give you exactly the same answers. Okay, let's go to the second part. H of g inverse of x. Okay, so I find the g inverse first. G of x is equal to 1 minus x over 2. Let y equal to g of x. So y will be equal to 1 minus x over 2. So I want to change the subject from y become x. Y plus 1. Sorry. So it's positive. If you bring over here become negative. Y minus 1 equal to negative x over 2. So I multiply both sides by negative 1. So it will become 1 minus y because negative will become positive, positive become negative, and it's x over 2. I just bring the 2 go up here. 2 times 1 minus y is equal to x. X is equal to, do some expansion here, 2 minus 2y. So now we have the inverse function of g. G inverse is equal to 2 minus 2x. Okay. So how about h of g inverse of x? So we know that g inverse is equal to, okay, let me write a parenthesis first. G inverse is equal to this, right? 2 minus 2x. Now how about h? H is equal to 4x minus 3. 4x minus 3. This whole thing you just plug in here. 2 minus 2x. Do some expansion. For 2 you get 8. For 2 you get 8x here. Minus 3. Okay, so 8 minus 3 you get 5. And this negative 8x negative 8x we cannot do anything, we just copy. Okay, so this will be the answers for the second part. Let's go to part B. Okay, given g of h of x is equal to m minus nx over 2. We need to find the value of m and n. Okay, so this is a composite function given by the questions. We find the composite functions ourselves. Same thing, we also need to find g of h of x. G of h of x. Okay, h of x is equal to 4x minus 3. 4x minus 3. G of x is equal to 1 minus x over 2. 1 minus x over 2. Okay, now I want to change this form become this, so that later I can compare them easily and get the value of m and n. Okay, so now they don't have the common denominator, right? The denominator here is actually 1. So I want to change the 1 become 2 first, then only I combine these two become a single fraction. So here I have to multiply 2, here I have to multiply 2. So I have to get 2 over 2 minus 4x minus 3. Okay, under this step you have to be careful. Some students will do this. After this, they might do this way. 2 minus 4x minus 3 equal to 2. This is actually not correct. Why? Because this minus is minus this whole thing. This whole thing. You should put a parenthesis here. So the correct way should be this. 2 minus, put a parenthesis, 4x minus 3 over 2. So you bring the negative inside here, it becomes 2 minus 4x. Negative, negative become positive 3. Okay. So now you have 2 plus 3, you get 5. Minus 4x over 2. Okay, this is the composite function of g of h of x. We find ourselves. This one, the same thing, this composite function also g of h of x and given by the questions. That means these two are actually the same thing, right? Okay, so we can write 5 minus 4x over 2. This one, we got it ourselves, is actually equal to this given by the questions. M minus nx over 2. So by comparing both sides, compare both sides. So I know that m, this one, this m is actually equal to 5, right? Okay, so m is equal to 5. And the 4 here Okay, be careful this. Okay, here also negative, no problem. 4 is actually equal to n, right? Okay, so n is equal to 4. So these are the value of m and n.